Now, this next bar is very important. We're looking at bar 127, Seitz 3. Okay, so we've just had this bit, which if you've looked at my other video, you've practiced for 20 minutes and it's probably really good, this one. Now, notice this next note is the first time it happens, and you've got a first finger. All right, so I'd like to just practice the tune. It goes like this. Let's do it with nice long bows and beautiful sound. Right, you can join in now. Ready, go. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm going to leave my third finger down even when I finish playing it. Keep your finger down too. Ready, go. So your first finger might need to do some cycling practice because it's got to stretch right back and 3 is not allowed to budge. Let's do it a little bit faster. Just use half your bow this time. Ready, go. Very good, bit faster, ready, and. Shake your hand out, remember, no tension, really relaxed fingers. We were talking about dissonances last time, do you remember? We have some notes that don't sound nice together, but it's on purpose. So here in this bar, we do have some dissonances, see if you can spot them. Did you spot it? It was this one. Wait a second. Yeah. If I separate those notes out, they're next to each other, which we call a second, and we remember second was one of the dissonant intervals. Now, you need to remember 2 old pieces that you've played before. Do you remember this one? Now, play up to the next note and keep your fingers down. Carry on, let's note stop. Now, that's where you've just arrived to. So you've played that before. Good, huh? That's called a minor third. Now, another old piece that you know. Remember that one? Stop. Oh, look. We have a major third, which is going to be your next note. So we're going to go from 2 Grenadiers fingers to Song of the Wind fingers. Can you see? Here's 2 Grenadiers fingers. Here's Song of the Wind fingers. So just tell your hand, I know both of these pieces, easy peasy. Okay? 2 Grenadiers, Song of the Wind. Okay, so let's put that together. So, my go, your go. Your go, ready, and. Good, did you notice me lifting up my first finger? Just watch one more time. So I lifted it up so it was ready for 2 Grenadiers because it's quite that big stretch. Let's do it a little bit faster. Half bows, ready, and. The next note is my favourite of the whole piece. No fingers. All together, ready, and. 2 Grenadiers, Song of the Wind, no fingers. And then we land on a 3, and the bow tips to D string. Okay, so we go no fingers to 3. So we just have to do a little bit of seesawing with our bow. You can join in this, just seesaw. From E and A, just have a look carefully, bow is on E and A, and you tip it to D and A. Just practice doing that in the middle. So it's quite far away from your hand, it feels a little uncertain sometimes. Okay, is that going well? All right, let's try the whole thing. Ready, and. Would you like another note? The next note's 1 on A. So the next note is also one of my favourites. Another no fingers, this time D and A. So, watch this time. No fingers. Now we've got another seesaw back over here this time. Come on, join in. Let's do seesawing down here at the frog. Okay, now listen to me first and then you play afterwards. Okay, so we've got a second finger. It's like he plays high and then thinks, oh no, I'm wrong, I should be low. So he does both of them. Oh no, it's low. Ready, and? High, no, low. You can think of all those times you were playing Minuet 1 and got confused with your high one and a low one. Now you can do both. Now let's see what each note sounds like when we join in the open A string with all of these. So is this one a resonant or a dissonant? What do you think? That's nice, isn't it? It's resonant. An octave. Now what about this? How many notes apart was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half. Ooh. That's really nasty, isn't it? So imagine you're eating something quite nice and you just bit into a little bit of black pepper or chilli, something that's quite strong, but it does actually make it interesting. So, oh, here's the chilli. Now this one, that's not quite as strong, maybe salt. That's 7 notes. 7 notes. Do you remember 7 was dissonant? So we've got nice, nice, chilli, salt. Oh, no, that's a nice one. 6 notes apart is very nice. That's just food. Favourite note. And we go back to 1 again. So we have, notice when you have no fingers, because it's just such a pleasure after all of this knitting with your left hand. Let's try that bit again. Ready, and... And we land on 3 again. So we've got that seesawing exactly the same as before. Open string, seesaw. And this is actually the same. We had that before, didn't we? Seesaw. Oh, and we're back to that bar, which we already know. Dissonance. And it comes twice. Now what happens now? Very important. So you've played this now for the second time. So what comes next is very important. It's the second finger, because it's the second time. So let's go from that second finger and what happens next. So just watch and listen first. Okay, this is not so tricky because we always have an open string. So this first one, we have an open D string. Now, what do you think? Is this dissonant or resonant? Yeah, it's not so good, is it? It's quite dissonant. It's the 7th. Now, what about this one? That's quite nice, isn't it? That's a 6th. So we have an ouch, a little bit of salt. No, not salt. What did we? Yeah, we said salt for 7th. And then this is ah. That's just enjoying the flavour, but not being bitten by it. Now, some people have been known to cheat at this point. They go, but you're clever and you know that it actually goes. Second finger goes onto the A string to keep the third finger company, otherwise it's a bit boring. So we have 1 and 0, and 2 and 3. Okay, so can you see that? 2 is on A, 3 is on E. All right, I'll play the whole passage and then you can join in second time. So second time, second finger. Ready, go. Was that too fast? Let's do one a little bit slower. Ready, and. Get the second finger. Well done. Bit faster. Ready, go. So that you might want to practice. Keep 1 down and just practice 2 and 3 moving like a machine. That's it. Yeah, good. You see? And make sure that 2, can you see that, is right next to 1, even though they're on different strings. You can see that quite well. Okay? We have to play 4 notes at once. Okay. Right, so we've just gone and landed at the heel of the bow. Now, can you make your fingers really, really soft that you can move them around like cooked spaghetti? That's right, not raw spaghetti, I want cooked spaghetti. And especially your little finger. All right, if you let go of your little finger, your bow should tip down to the G string. You practice doing that. Just let go of your little finger almost, make it go round, that's it. And you see your bow just tips across like that. So let it tip across like that. And I want you to just stroke the G and the D. Imagine you're not playing the violin now, you've got a tiny little weeny baby mouse and you're stroking it very, very softly. Are you stroking it? Now, if you stroke too hard, if you press too hard, you might kill it. Be careful. Really soft and gentle. Ah, that's nice. Right, now just do 1 stroke and stop. Now, do you remember the seesaws we did at the middle? We're going to do it at this end. I'm going to land on A and E, all right? Land on A and E. Now you've got 1 on A and 2 on E. And you're going to play the rest of your bow. Now I'm going to make you jump. So you stroke your mouse, baby mouse, tip to A and E, and then make everyone jump. Good. Now this time I stopped at the middle because you don't want to go too far because otherwise it'll all end up in a bit of a mess. So I'd like 3 of those, please. Are you ready? Baby mouse stroking, seesaw, stop in the middle. Are you ready? Ready, go. Stop. Good. So it's stroke, seesaw, play. Right, ready, go. Stroke, seesaw, play. Again, ready, and stroke, seesaw, play. Have we done 3? Let's just do another one. Ready, go. Seesaw, play. So I have my fingers ready actually the whole time. There, 1's on A and 2's on E. Okay? Or go and play Seitz 1, the last 5 notes. 3. Yeah, that was 5. Now, after you've done this big chord, so we have a scale. So let's just practice the scale nice and slowly. My go. Your go. Start in the middle. Ready, and. Let's put the chord on the front of that. Ready, and. Now, all I have to do is keep my first finger down and I play all of the notes with the first finger. Thinking about the resonances and dissonances. Is that resonant or dissonant? Well done, it's an octave, so it's resonant. What about this one? Well done, it's a dissonant, 7. So here we have nice, very, 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 very salty, nice, also nice, very, 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 very Now this one's a bit tricky because you've got one is on A and E, and then you have to roll your elbow towards you, hello elbow, so that your finger lifts off the E string but it stays on A. So that's a bit tricky. You might want to practice that. Can you see that? So as my elbow swings, your finger just lifts off the E string and then I know I can play the next note. Let's just try swing just enough so that the E string is clear. You'll go, ready, and swing and. Let's just do down, up, ready, go. Swing, just down, swing, up. Very good. Yeah, excellent. Right, let's try chord, scale, keeping the first finger down with a swing. And get your mouse, don't kill it. Ready, and. Good. Now the next bar you've had before. It's this one. Do you remember Two Grenadiers? Two Grenadiers, followed by, what was it? Song of the Wind. Now, when you had it before, you did the Song of the Wind chord twice. You went. Do you remember? Now this time you only play it once. So that's also important to remember because if you played it twice, you'd have to play the whole last bit all over again. Okay, so only play it once and that'll get you to the end of the piece. So let's go from our chord, scale, same bar as before, Two Grenadiers, Song of the Wind, once. Already do your seesaw and tip to the D and the A, one on E, twice, seesaw again, three on E. All right, so when you get to the Song of the Wind chord, you go straight away to the seesaw, come back and you've taken three off and play twice. Okay, so my go, your go. Your go. Ready, and. Good. Now this time you get a new note. Listen. That's right, we went back to the open strings. Excellent. Now we put three back on again, but on the E string. Okay, your go. Okay, from Song of the Wind fingers. Ready, go. Did you notice that one stayed down the whole time then? Just play it again and notice it. Ready, go. So your bow is doing quite a lot of changing strings, but your fingers are quite still. Okay, let's just try that one more time. Song of the Wind fingers, ready, go. Now, the next note you have played in Seitz 2. Okay, the last note of Seitz 2, do you remember how it went? It's a lot of people's least favourite chord, but in the meantime it's become my favourite. Now, do you know why? Tell me, what is the name of this note? Do you know? First finger on the G string. That's right, it's an A. Now, if you're very, very clever, you have to make sure that your finger is not touching the A string at all. So if you can see, I don't know if you can see this. I've made my finger like a tunnel. Can you see that? Yeah. So I'm not touching the A string at all. And I'm playing the G string, the first finger on the G string, which is called an A. Don't know if the camera's picking this up. Can you see my A string? Here, my A string is wobbling. It's joining in, there you go. So clever. I love it when that happens because it's a resonant note, it's a ringtone. It's also called A and it just says, oh, I'm A too, can I join in? Now, what note is this? First note, first finger on D, E. So, magic notes, any notes that have the same name as an open string, we have an open E, should, if they're in tune and nothing is touching the string, they should make that string ring. Can you hear my E string? It's quite loud here. I don't know if the camera can hear it. Yeah. Now, I don't want you to think about how to do this, but your job is, however, this is quite uncomfortable. You have to put your finger on both of those notes, but your job is to make the A string and the E string ring. So instead of just playing 2 notes, we're actually playing 4, but you only bow on the G and the D string. That is your challenge. When you review Seitz 2 and you get to the end, I want 4 notes to ring, okay? And that's where you've got it. You've practiced it in Seitz 2, then here it is again. So you go. And the whole violin should be joining in on that last bar. So you have. Okay? And then you've done the whole lot. Well done. Right, I'm now going to give you a chance to play with me nice and slowly and steadily to see if you can get through the whole passage, thinking of all the things that we've talked about in a nice, steady, easy speed. And then I'll do it a little bit faster and a little bit faster so you've got someone to play it with, because it's very tricky. Right, I'm going to go from bar 125. All right, so we're going to go at this speed. Da-ya, ba, ba-ya, ba. Ready, go. First time, first finger. Well spotted. 2 grenadiers. Song of the Wind twice. Repeat. Swing elbow. Pop. Again. Hello elbow. Swing. Pop. Second time. Mouse. Scale. Same as before. 2 grenadiers. 1 Song of the Wind. No fingers. End of Seitz 2. Can you hear my A and the E? That was great. Just before we try a little bit faster, just one thing about your bowing. I'm doing it all in this part of the bow, just to keep it nice and contained, and when it's faster, I don't have too far to move. Okay, so just keep an eye on my bow and try and match it. Right, are we ready? A bit faster. 1, 2, 3. Song of the Wind twice. Song of the Wind once. No fingers. Well done. Shall we try it faster? Okay. Da ya ba ba ya ba. Keep your brains on. Ready? Go. Twice. really fast. There's a little bit double stopping before we get to the tricky part, isn't there? Do you remember? It goes... Can we just play it once single, just to remind ourselves of the tune? Ready, go! Slurring, slurring, slurring. Good. Let's just play that now with the double stops and then we'll carry on. All right? Okay. Dum, 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 bum, bum. Ready, go. Time. Hey, now how fast do we actually have to play it? Just play the beginning of this piece. How fast do you play it? Just have a little remember. About that, isn't it? About that? Or do you want to do it faster? Do you want to go... Well, go and listen to your CD and then you'll know how fast is what we've been listening to and what we're aiming at. I think that we're doing is slightly under tempo, but let's think. So if that's the beginning, we need to do one more go. Okay, up to speed. Are you ready? So, yum bum 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 bum. Ready and. We did it! Give yourself a thumbs up.